Welcome to part 6 of this ErcoupeTV Vintage Aviation Travelogue series, where Andrew and I take the 1943 Stearman and the 1948 Ercoupe on a long cross-country adventure into the desert. This is the part of the trip where Andrew and I reluctantly head in separate ways. Andrew will continue east to his new home base in Pennsylvania, and this story will continue with the solo Ercoupe. I would have loved to have gone further east with the Stearman, but work and family was calling me back home to California, and I decided to head back west, in a fun way. After starting the day in the last video, episode 5, at Wendover, we headed east across the salt flats, deserts, and the Great Salt Lake into Brigham City. In this episode, from Brigham, I'll head northwest across the north end of the Great Salt Lake, up to the City of Rocks National Reserve in Idaho, over the Snake River, and into the city of Jerome, Idaho, for fuel. Expect a separate video for Andrew's portion of the trip, probably after we've finished the Ercoupe flights. And please remember to hit the like button and remember to share the video with friends if you enjoy it. It makes a huge difference in growing the channel. Thank you. Okay, added a third of a quart of oil. Well, this is, I'm going to head up into Idaho now. You're heading continuing on east through Wyoming.
That was good. We've done, what, almost 700 miles? Like, probably 9-10 hours of flying?
Yeah.
All the way across.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
There's sights and things we've seen. Yeah. Awesome.
Really good stuff. Wild horses.
Yeah. Good luck with the DA.
You could follow
in the high country.
Coast.
I could.
Come on.
I could. It'd make Tom happy.
It would.
Tom, I'm coming over soon. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Good trip, and say
cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye, Andrew. Have a safe flight.
Alright, Brigham City traffic on the 303 Papa Sierra. We'll just be entering a high left downwind for runway 35, sea lane and engine failure. We got the crosswind traffic in sight. Somebody else up there that's not Andrew. Check. Brigham City 121 Echo Charlie, holding short 35, Brigham City.
Okay, so there we have it, a nice takeoff from this beautiful little airport. Departing runway 35, climbing out, and we're just about to turn left, watching our shadow there. Turn left on course. And unfortunately, this was one of those flights where the 3.5mm jack pulled out of the audio recorder, and I have no audio for most of this flight, so you're going to have to bear with my narration here. As we pass over the city of Corinne, Utah, you can clearly see the massive Walmart distribution center. A tiny city now, it was apparently proposed to become the capital of Utah back when the railroad was coming through this area. Interestingly, it was a non-Mormon city, quite rare in these parts.
Uh-oh, load of birds.
But by the late 1870s, its big aspirations passed, and it returned back to its farming roots. The agriculture around Brigham City here soon gives way to more of a pure desert experience as we get closer to the lake.
Backing to the salt marshes. Looks like there's a little pass that I can stay low through there. Try that. Might be higher land on this side. It's drier and greener. Looking back to the northern end of the Wasatch Range there. Andrew is currently crossing. Look out for wildlife. Keep low. I wonder what all those...
So this facility here was, which is now owned by Northrop Grumman, it was actually the Thiokol Corporation which developed the solid rocket boosters for the shuttle. I think they were actually developed here, which is kind of interesting. Just before we get to the lake, we fly over the Golden Spike National Historical Park. This is the site where the first transcontinental railroad across the US was completed, with the driving of the ceremonial Golden Spike in 1869. Finally, both coasts of the US were connected by a single railroad. And that all happened right here. Okay, so now we're on to the north end of the Great Salt Lake. There's my shadow again. Keeping nice and low, lots of available landing spots here. No need to stay high. It is a little bumpy down here though. Looking off to the north. Amazing colours in that little pool down there. All the alkali salts and everything. And now we get to the lake. So of course we have to turn off course a little bit just to have a look at the water. It's quite a stunning colour in person. So the pinky brown colour is caused by a type of algae called Dunaliella silina, which is found in these saline waters, and it produces beta-carotene in large quantities, and that turns the water this pinky red colour. Time for a drink. you have to remember to stay hydrated under the heat in the Ercoupe's bubble canopy. At this point we're coming up to State Highway 42, which is going to join up to Interstate 84 up in Idaho. Still currently just about in Utah. I think this is the remnants of an fire retardant line from a aerial firefighting tanker. We're definitely over Idaho now, and we're about to turn away from the highway to follow a dirt road due west to the City of Rocks National Reserve, about 25 miles away. Still fairly low, but I feel comfortable having a dirt road that I can get down on if I need to. I do have the satellite communicator with me that I can send a text to Diane with if I did get stranded. Plus I've got the full camping gear with me. And here's a view of ForeFlight showing where we are just above the Idaho border, and also showing the roads that we're going to be following through this little national reserve, over the Snake River and up to Jerome. And now we're about to overfly the City of Rocks National Reserve. That's reserve with an R. I actually haven't heard of the term National Reserve before, and it is different from a National Preserve. There are apparently only 2 others in the US. It wasn't marked on the VFR chart, and since I didn't know it was there from the chart, I wasn't keeping 2,000 feet above, as you would with a monument, preserve or national park. The City of Rocks is a collection of massive granite rock formations famed for excellent rock climbing. It was very pretty to fly over, as you can see here, but it was a little bumpier than the flatter terrain we had previously been over. It also marks a point on the California Trail, used by wagon trains trying to reach California in the 1840s and 50s. Completing our westerly transition over the reserve, we now turn northwest and back up to civilization. My intended destination for the night, in the Alva Desert in eastern Oregon, was due west of here, but I didn't feel that would have been prudent to continue direct. Instead, I followed the Dirt Park Access Road up towards Twin Falls, Idaho and Interstate 84. This would keep me over safer terrain, traveled roads, and allow me to pick up fuel. It really does get very remote as you cross southwestern Idaho into Oregon. As expected, once we left the mountainous valley, the winds calmed down again. Over the city of Oakley, the first built-up area we've seen in quite a while. There is even a municipal airport here, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. I loved flying over the big green blobs of the center pivot irrigation systems in use here. It doesn't quite seem real, more like you're flying in a flight simulator from the early 2000s. There were many giant cattle farms in this area. another landmark appears with Idaho's Snake River Canyon. This impressively deep canyon is quite striking amongst the nearly completely flat agricultural land surrounding it. It was only a few miles past the road bridge that you can see here, at Shoshone Falls, that Evel Knievel attempted to jump the canyon on his rocket-powered bike in 1974. Unfortunately for him, that attempt failed due to his drogue parachute deploying prematurely and the flight being cut short. Amazingly enough though, for a failed attempt to jump a huge canyon on a motorbike, he escaped with only minor injuries. The jump was recreated in 2016 by Eddie Braun using a replica of the original bike and was completed successfully. At this point, I'm preparing to enter a 5 mile 45 to the right downwind for runway 9 at Jerome. After almost 2 hours of flying, I'm ready to stretch my legs. This radio tower farm to the east of the field was interesting. At nearly 700 feet above ground, they seemed quite a hazard this close to the airport. And welcome to Jerome, Idaho, where the local time is about 10 to 1 in the afternoon. Okay, thank you for watching this far. Please hit the like button or leave a comment, and thanks to everyone who does this, it's really very much appreciated. See you soon for the next part.